What's going on, photography friends and family? Just wanted to do a quick video today. I want to talk about how my weekend went. So over the weekend, I had a engagement party to do. It was 3 hours, and the couple had rented out a restaurant and closed out the event space just for themselves. And I was the photographer for the night. So they really just wanted some candid moments of having a great time with their friends and family. And they had set up like this background for, just to take photos of their friends and family as they came in. And then, they would go into like the bar area and have food and drink and, have a great time. Then it was a cake cutting and, speech, and that was really it. So it wasn't really anything crazy, nothing specific, very low key and chill, and had a great time shooting it. So what I did do was offer the option to shoot instant photography, which I did do for them. And I gave them the option to shoot mini, square, or wide, and they chose the wide, which I probably was going to be the case, right? There was a price difference, obviously, but they end up choosing the wide, which was cool, which I like to shoot anyway. I think it's the better format. Yes, the camera's bigger and stuff like that, but you get a better output because the frames are bigger. So the key thing that was apparent to me was that it was not ever going to be about quality. It was going to be about moments, memories, and nostalgia. And that's what instant photography brings. And that's what I like about it, because there's no high expectation. It's just more about like, a lot of people don't even know this instant photography still exists. That's the reality, that a lot of times when I do have this camera, like I brought the Lomo Instant Wide, which is my favorite instant camera to use, one of them at least, but my favorite format, wide. And when I'm shooting with it, right, and then they see the frame pops out the top, they're like, "Whoa, that's a Polaroid." It's not Polaroid, it's Instax. But Polaroid is so branded, even though they probably never seen one in their lives, that it's still called Polaroid, and that nostalgia is still there. And so I really enjoyed shooting instant photography that day. So what I did was I did digital and I did instant. So I have a dual camera strap, and so I have this. I bought it from eBay a long time ago. I had it for almost 10 years maybe, and it hangs the camera on both sides. And so I had my digital on my right side, my Fuji X-H1 with the Tamron 17-70, and I did all my digital all night. I had a TT350 Godox flash, and that did all the event work for me. And then on the left side, I had my Lomo Instant Wide, and people probably assumed that this was just a second digital camera and that I was going to do something else with it, right? And then they seen it come up, and I said, "Hey, I want to take another shot." I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." Then I pulled it up to my eye, and I pressed the shutter, and boom, it pops out, and they're like, "Whoa, that's so cool," right? Now the couple who hired me decided to keep all the film themselves. They paid for up to 50 images, and they wanted to keep all of the frames for themselves. And what they're going to do is create a book for it, and I think that's really cool. But what I thought about was that this is better than a photo booth, especially if you carry it on you or you have a second shooter that's going to do all the instant work. And I think that's a great proposition for couples, events, things like that, to have, because all the rage now is like this 360 booth and all that stuff. That's cool. But I think if you're having an event and you want to give a gift to your guests, I think something like this is something you would want to do. Give them the opportunity to take something away from that event, like a photo of you. If you're the bride or groom, if it's a wedding, and you get a chance to take a photo with them on an instant camera and take it away that night, and maybe some other shots as well, depending on how much film film is going to be produced that night, I think it'd be a great way to kick off an event in a different way. You know, we're in 2025, you know, whatever year you're watching this in, and everything is digital. But I think we don't print, we take more photos than we've ever had in history, probably. Every person has a camera in their hand and across the world. But I don't think people have prints. You know, people don't have something nostalgic. That are they actually printing? You probably right now going to scroll through your phone and see 1,000 photos. Now, obviously, we shouldn't print 1,000 photos, right? But we should print the gems, the good ones, the ones that are going to mean something, the one that's going to tell a story. Like, you know, like I print this photo, you know, I have a 4x6 Canon printer right here. And you know, these photos, this is my dad and my daughter, right? My dad's going to be 80 in January. My daughter's 7 years old. This is going to mean something, right? I took this just visiting them at their house, and I always have my camera with me. You know, even if I took it on my phone, it doesn't even matter. The fact that this moment will never be reproduced again. The way this is, they will never be this day old again. And I think that's the magic of shooting instant photography that night, because those photos are all one of a kind, right? And they have the only copies of them, and they were taken in addition to the digitals, which they can reproduce many times over. And obviously you could scan your Polaroids, your instants, you know, your Instax prints. But I think the magic of being able to give those, if you were to give them to your guests, like if I was allowed to shoot these and give them out as a photographer, that would be an upsell for me, because it's a business card, right? It's a way for them to remember, hey, remember that guy who took that photo? Let me call the, you know, people that we went to their party and ask him for his phone number, ask him for his website. This low quality print, you know, f8 at the maximum camera can produce something that will be a calling card. And I enjoy shooting with this. So that's all I wanted to say. That's all I got for you. And I will catch you on the next one. Have a great one. Peace.